What made the high school legend become a legend? We had a teacher who was infamous for not letting you go to the bathroom no matter what. I mean, so much so that if you accidentally started your period in class, she'd make you wait. This happened. So there was a girl who we'll call Katie in class, who tended to be a bit of a troublemaker. Katie hated that teacher because she'd beg to go to the bathroom and got shut down every time. At the end of the year, Katie asked one more time to go to the bathroom. The teacher said no. Katie asked another time 5 minutes later. The teacher said no again. 5 minutes after that, Katie asked again, but said that the teacher was not going to like what happened if the teacher didn't let her go. The teacher hit the roof and said that if she said one more thing, Katie would be sent to the principal. Katie shrugged and said, "This is on you." Then, and pissed on her seat, right where she was. The teacher sent her to the principal, who called her parents, one of which was a urologist. Her father yelled at the principal. The teacher ended up in deep shit. According to other kids, she never denied another kid the bathroom again. Katie was a fucking legend. It's pretty stupid, but a friend wore a Walmart hot dog costume and for some reason everyone thought it was funny. Started chanting "Hot Dog Kid" and he won the Best Halloween Costume Award of that year. Next year he wore a penguin costume and as he stepped up on stage he ripped it off to reveal the hot dog costume underneath. Everybody fucking lost it. Sadly, we have a rule that you can't win 2 years in a row, so while he didn't get the prize, we all knew who had the best costume that day. That is how the legend of Hot Dog Kid was born at my high school. Edit. I have been provided a picture of the costumes by the Hot Dog Kid.
Joe Sticka, class of 1969 at my HS. The guy didn't exist. He was created by a group of my friends as a mid-year transfer student with a totally fabricated deep background that was so smooth Joe even made the yearbook with a picture unavailable caption.
My uncle's frat did something similar back in the 60s as well. Everyone took one of the classes for him, did the work, etc. And he graduated, if I recall correctly. Seemed a pretty common bit. The 60s, a decade when a person didn't even have to attend classes or exist to graduate.
I was on one of those televised quiz shows on a local small market station. The host was this bearded guy, who would sport a cowboy hat and a suede jacket with the leather patches. Pure class. The question was: the state of Kentucky was recently overtaken by Nevada as the national leader of this dubious habit. No one buzzed, so at the last second I went in and said, "Interfamily relationships. Like incest." The host just turned bright red and was like, "No." I got yelled at a little bit off stage. But when I got back to school I was a made man. And hey, people watch public TV. Our legend was actually the gym teacher. He became a legend by getting hit by a bus, getting up, getting on the bus and asking if everyone was okay. He ended up getting fired about 5 years after I graduated because he was caught soaking raisins in vodka and then eating them over the course of the day. Never change, Mr. Lev. Edit. Looks like the raisins thing may not have been true, as someone else linked an obit about him passing away just a couple days ago. We loved our rumors, so when someone told me that, I just believed it because it seemed like something he would have done. Schools tend to not honor people fired for doing something really bad after they pass away. I still can't believe he's gone though. The man was the Terminator.
The senior class was gathered in the gym for a pep rally type event, but there weren't any planned events, so we students were getting bored and restless. In an effort to engage us, teachers offered to let kids tell jokes into the microphone. The very first guy that goes to the microphone triumphantly asks, "How deep are we gonna go, men?" And every male is the stands shouted back, "Balls deep." How deep? Balls deep. The call and response quickly ended when the teachers swarmed him and took away the microphone. Jokes were over for the day. Later in the year they hold another senior event in the gym, but instead of jokes they let kids sing karaoke. Fun. Until the microphone goes missing between songs. Everyone is seated in the stands when that same guy stands up just laughing his ass off because someone handed him the microphone. The teachers say, "Don't." And he just keeps laughing. He manages to ask a single question into the microphone. How deep? For the first time I understood school pride as 900 students, even the girls, joined in shouting "Balls deep." Legend. Someone installed games onto the school server. There were a bunch of N64 emulators, Peggle, and some other games. But then there were also LAN games that could be played against anyone/everyone in the school, including Counter-Strike and Halo. Sometimes you'd go on and there'd be no one, other times there'd be 10v10 fight in Blood Gulch. It lasted at least 10 years, but don't know if it has been taken down since. Edit: this blew up way more than I was expecting. For those of you asking, this happened around 2008 in California, but I'm glad this has been experienced across the world and multiple generations of gamers. Some of the games you all had on your school computers were before my time, and some were just coming out on consoles. Thank you for the gold and other awards. I hope there continues to be ways around the system so that younger generations can always have this experience. Colombian kid was getting bullied until he kicked his bully upside the head big time. That little prick of a bully didn't know Carlos, the Colombian, competed in taekwondo tournaments at the national level for Colombia. Edit: spelling. There was a kid who was being initiated into a Laotian gang where he was supposed to get jumped, beat up, by his fellow gang members. In theory you're supposed to just take it to prove how tough you are, but this guy had competed in the Pan Am Games for some kind of martial arts. So he kicked everyone's ass.
Halfway through my last year of high school, someone managed to put a ceramic toilet on top of a multi-story gymnasium. I have no idea how that feat was achieved. The school staff didn't know either. Nor could they figure out how to get it off the roof once they found it. As a result, it remained on the gym for the remainder of my time there. I never found out who did it, but I will admire them until my dying day. It was Dr. Janito, and that was his epiphany toilet. I almost forgot. I have another one. Our AP English teacher went out on maternity leave, and we got a sub who did not give a single shit. We were studying Romeo and Juliet, and she just decided to throw on the 1968 Zeffirelli film version. She just brought out a book and started reading. Well, she didn't think that out too well, because Juliet gets topless in that one. Some little shit said, "Mom, I didn't get that scene. Could we rewind it?" Quote. She barely looked up, totally missed the boobs. 5 whole students pulled this, including a girl, before she noticed. Those 5 were gods in the school for a little bit.
Not my story, but my friends. My buddy went to a military boarding school for high school. Very strict and regimented, with little to no tolerance for misbehavior. Multiple years of this environment must have pushed someone off the deep end, because during my buddy's second year, someone started shitting in urinals. Big, sloppy, shameless dookies. At least once a month for 3 years, these turds would appear. The culprit became known as the Phantom Shitter, and despite the efforts of a task force specifically assembled to put an end to the nefarious poops, the Phantom Shitter was never captured. This person became a legend at this boarding school because of their stealth, conviction, and utter lack of shame. My buddy kept in touch with one of his instructors over the years, and found out years later that a copycat shitter had briefly popped up, but he was discovered and expelled after only a couple dookies. He lacked the finesse of the mysterious original.
His last name was Alcock and he ran for student council. His campaign posters consisted simply of his slogan: "Part man, part machine, Alcock."
Did he win? Administration made him take down all the signs. Sad face.